From the advertising media capital of the world, New Milford, Connecticut, wherever that is. This is Mostly Automotive Marketing with Matt Wilson, a bi-weekly-ish podcast about all things automotive marketing. Now, here's your host, Matt Wilson.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Mostly Automotive Marketing with Matt Wilson, presented by Silverback Advertising, online at silverbackadvertising.com. For those of you watching on video, I don't know how to play those guitars. They just got put on the couch because somebody was vacuuming and I had to get them off the floor. I don't really know how to play them. But anyway, welcome to another episode. This is the time of the month for those of us in automotive where my agency, we call it crunch, right? We call it's crunch week. And at my old group, we used to call it Crazy Days, D-A-Z-E, Crazy Days. But what is it? It's the mad dash to get homepage banners and specials up on the website at the beginning of the month, right? And it's always every month. You know it's coming, and it comes every month. And we're doing it again now. Crunch, Crazy Days. It's happening. But is it all worth it, I guess, really, is the question. So my guest today on Mostly Automotive Marketing with Matt Wilson is co-founder at Reunion Marketing, host of the KPI Cafe, which I was just a guest on and had a blast on his podcast, and expert panel member at Dealer Marketing Magazine. We'll bring him in now, Dane Saville. Hi, Dane. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Man, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
I had a blast on your podcast. I got a lot of positive feedback about being on, and so I appreciate you having me on for that. That was great.
Absolutely. No, I'm glad. I'm humbled you were a willing participant.
Yes.
And
what do you
diving
have
into some OTT.
Do you get unwilling participants sometimes? That's what it makes.
There are people that are a little more hesitant. They're not as enthusiastically yes.
Yeah.
They go, well, all right, I will.
All right, I'll do it.
But by the end, some people are they're camera shy, or I guess, or microphone shy.
Microphone shy, yeah. People don't like the sound of their voice.
Exactly. So, but usually by the end of it, I've never gotten bad feedback, so that's always a good thing.
Radio people don't have that problem. We all love the sound of our own voice, which is why we were radio people in the first place. So, back in my my dealership days, and then now too, on the agency side, in the dealership days, I was on a quest to get rid of homepage banners. Because, we had a couple stores that we handled the marketing for in our group, and we're making all these banners at the beginning of every month. And I was like, who is looking at all these banners, right? And so then, the more you get into it, the more you get involved in digital marketing and work on the agency side, the more that you actually understand that, you don't need to have 11 banners. Let me just close my Slack, because like I said, it's crunch, right? Going on at the agency. Yeah. So I got these banners for this guy, these banners for that guy. What do these look like? Let's just de-Slackify my Slack. So I was like, I'm going to be on a mission to get rid of homepage banners. And so I got my dealer at my home store all worked up. He's like, yeah, dude, let's do it. Yeah, but he's a dealer. 3 days later, we need this, and this all on the homepage right now. Like, but we just, forget it. It's just in our nature. So when I saw that you were writing an article for Dealer Marketing Magazine called The Revealing Look at Dealership Homepage Banners, I was like, hell yes, let's get Dane on and talk about it. So let's talk about the numbers, man. Let's talk about the numbers behind homepage banners, and give me the Dane Saville homepage banner philosophy.
Don't waste your time. That's the philosophy. Don't waste your time, man. Dude, that's what spawned. That was the catalyst for why we did the study that we did, why we dove into the data, because every month, and as we, onboarded more and more dealer partners, and we're up to 250, and 100 are asking for 13 banners each, and it's like wait a minute, let's slow our roll here. Let's figure this out. Yeah. That's what we asked. We said, really, what are people really doing on the homepage? So we got a statistically relevant sample of our dealership base, of our partners, and we analyzed it. And of all homepage clicks, it's like 6% are on a homepage banner, and half of that 6% are on the first position banner.
Yeah.
By the time you get to a third position band, you're talking 0.86% of all homepage clicks.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. And then like, also, if you look at it from like, I get like the dealer perspective is, oh, I got this thing out there and I got to get the message out there somewhere. Right. And I got to get it on. But if you think about, like you said, the number, the 0.86 is the, lease special that's fifth on the homepage banners. Is getting it on there really a priority when, 3 people are going to look at it or click on it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the majority of clicks are on the search widget, and other elements of the homepage.
Yeah.
And when we talk about specials, I mean, that's why you build out specialty content. You build out unique landing pages so that way you can have an ad on Facebook that's cost efficient, and you target people that are have signals that they're interested in vehicles or leasing or services, and you send them to those pages. Yeah, I mean, because it's. Homepage banners they're nice because they're something, right?
Right.
They're beautiful and they're nice and they have your name on it or maybe your face or and the
right.
vehicle, and it's nice. It's comforting whenever like that's something that a dealer can know their agency partner or their internal team is doing, right? It's something tangible,
right.
But it's something tangible that's kind of nonsense. You're basically having your team, and if you're investing in an agency or an internal team, you're paying these people to do things that aren't benefiting your dealership. You might as well just like take that $100 bill and just burn it in an ashtray.
Yeah. We used to have this discussion. We'd be like, listen, let's not worry about, the color of this or the positioning of this, because in the grand scheme of things, we're worried about, some little things. Let's worry about the big things, which is what are people visiting on the website? Where are they clicking? Is the process to find a car or ask for information, easy to navigate when you're on the website? And sometimes, if the homepage banners are like, depending on the browser or which vendor you're on, they're huge. You can't even get around them or get past what you need to get past to get to the inventory search or whatever it is you're trying to schedule service page that you really want that person to find right away.
Yeah. We always talk about, typically in the context, being disruptive is like a good thing. But in this case, you're disrupting the customer journey, and that is not a good disruption.
Yeah.
We want to streamline the process. We want to make it easy for them to shop vehicles or service, schedule service. So it's a thing that just doesn't serve a real valuable purpose.
What about on mobile? Is it even worse on mobile, or can you put them on there, but they're not, above the fold, like, or they're below the scroll, or like, what do you think about on a mobile site?
I've talked to some dealers that like put it like at the very bottom, like banners at the very bottom, like for mobile on the page. I mean, you can. To me, it's still the matter of production. You're still going through the process of conceiving, designing, formatting, and placing those on there. When you could be, going on the homepage and using a tool like Hotjar and monitoring on your particular dealer website. Where are people hovering? Where are they scrolling to? Where are they clicking? Where do they bounce when they get to a certain part of the page? So you can be doing other things that are more customer centric, that are going to give you some data points to be able to optimize, as opposed to just producing something.
So you're Honda, you got a big 0%, a couple months ago, Honda did their first 0% thing for the first time in like forever, right? Okay. So that's a big deal. You want to put it on your homepage, yada, yada, yada. But also that goes along with that is, let's say you eliminated banners from your homepage. It's not part of your template. You don't have them on the homepage. In that situation, you build a landing page and then you direct traffic through, whether it's your SEO or your paid media, to the landing page. We want people to congregate anyway. So like, how do you drive that message home to dealers sometimes who might be, because it's old school. Oh, I have it. It's got to be the first thing on my sliders. How do you get that message to dealers and tell them, listen, this is the better way to do it?
It comes down to the data. I mean, you just got to look at the facts of how consumers shop now, and how we get that message hammered home to dealers. That's a great question, because that's what we've been telling all of our partners for about a year and a half after this study was conducted. Like, hey man, like, you're having us do this. We can do better things for you that are going to make more sense for converting people on your site. We run like 30 different audits for our partners, in which we're looking at SRP to VDP efficiencies and homepage SRP and blah, 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 all these different things that we're diving into that actually, it's funny because one of the quotes that stuck out to me with our podcast was metrics that matter.
Yeah.
And that's what instead of just doing things, instead of just creating homepage banners, we can dive into the metrics that matter that are telling us how people shop and how they want to engage with your dealership website. So to hammer the message home, it's 6%. 6% of clicks on any of your banners, as opposed to like 93% that just want to be able to use that search widget to search for the vehicle that they've probably been Googling for the past 3 months.
Yeah.
Reading about, doing research on, going on the OEM website, building out the car and figuring out what they want. Now, all they want to do is find that car on your site. That's what they want to get to. So all these other frills and things that, they're not interested in that. Now, I know that like some OEMs, mandate, you have to have homepage banners. And I'm not saying to do no homepage banners, but I'm saying is limit the amount of time and resources you're putting into it. So if your OEM mandates it, have like whatever number is, if they mandate 10, have like 8 that are stock standard, that are evergreen, that can just sort of always be there. Your value props, if you're, Saville Ford, like the Saville Ford Advantage, and, you talk about the different, free oil changes for life, whatever it is, those different things are that differentiate your dealership. And then, you have those 2 or 3 that are, unique for the month, so like for Honda, that 0% first time ever. Okay. If you want to have that up, but you don't need to then also, create another 8 just because you want to see things that are being produced. Because that's the big thing about SEO, is that a lot of the stuff happens behind the scenes, right? A lot of things, meta updates, 404, 4XX errors, all these different things that you check on the back end of the website that are doing more for, indexing, crawling, ranking, doing more for your website than what those homepage banners would be. So that's the other thing, is like, just get off of having new things, right? We have dealers ask, how many pages will you make for the month? Well, it's not a matter of number of pages. It's a matter of creating some new content, fixing content that is already existing on the site, optimizing, watching consumer behaviors. How are they changing? How are they unique to that particular market, that particular dealer? So there's so much that's happening behind the scenes. We gotta get off the mindset of produce, new.
Yeah.
So, there's so much to it beyond just, pretty things getting put up.
You kind of stepped ahead and stole my thunder there on the OEM thing. I was going to mention, I don't want it to sound like we're just banging on dealers here and it's all the dealers' fault, because it's not all the dealers' fault.
No.
In a lot of situations, it's the OEM's fault. I was looking at an email earlier as I was getting ready for this recording, and I'll pick on Nissan. Well, they can't be mad at me, right? But like, there was like 11 things last month. They're like, we need these 11 things on the website. And I'm talking to the dealer. I'm talking to my dealer, and the Dom, I knew, we used to work together in a couple of Nissan stores. And I'm like, dude, and I said to him, I'm like, dude, there's not enough. Okay, buy 3, get 1 free for tire offer. All right, yeah, that's a good offer, but let's do a service campaign for that. It doesn't need to be a homepage banner. New cabin air filter, accessory offer, National Car Month, buy at home, Murano homepage banner, Ultima all-wheel drive feature, new Rogue offer, loyalty offer. I'm like, where do you think all this stuff is going to go? And then on top of that, the dealer wants, his things. So I'm like, guys, like, we got to understand, these things are important, and I want you to share them with me from the OEM and from a tier 2 and tier 3 level. Here's what's important. But let's talk about these 11 things are important to you, but this doesn't mean they only need to be 11 homepage slides. Maybe one is a landing page. Maybe one is a blog post. Maybe one is, a Facebook media campaign. Maybe one is the focus of your OTT. Maybe, there's a million different ways to get the message across without just slapping up 11 homepage banners and putting them on your website. And so I feel like dealers sometimes are like, well, they may agree and they believe the data. Okay, Dane, we believe what you're saying, you guys are saying, but what am I going to do? Nissan's telling me I got to do what I got to do. And that's like, all right, well, what are they going to do? They're not going to tell the manufacturer to take a hike. They may want to, but sometimes they're not gonna,
Yeah, exactly. I think you hit the nail on the head. It's communication.
Yeah.
It's all about dealers need to let their teams or their agency partners know what those things are, and then what the priority is for them as the dealer. Like, what is, of those 11 things, what really is the most important thing that aligns with their objectives, or their goals for the month, or what is it that they personally want to promote? And you can work with that, right? So like you said, like maybe the most important thing we create as they just want it up. Maybe we create that as a homepage banner. But like you said, then there are other things where you can create as a campaign where you put some paid media dollars behind targeting audiences that drive them to a very specific, highly relevant landing page that satisfies one of those 11 things. Yeah. Or maybe that is what the most important priority. And then maybe you create, and what I would suggest is the least important thing becomes the homepage banner. And the most important thing is what you really invest the time and resources in. So again, it kind of depends on that line of communication. Your team needs to know what it is, what your objectives are. And there's, unfortunately, there are times where we work with dealers that aren't very open in terms of communication.
Right.
And we have to try to divine that. And then our best partners and the partners we see the most success with are the ones that are very communicative. In fact, they're very scrutinizing and discerning and come at us with very good questions to continually elevate and challenge us in what we're doing for them.
Yeah, the nature of our business too is that our goals and priorities do change quickly. You'll talk to, we'll be having a discussion about, here's what our next 90 days are going to look like. And then 32 days later, it's like, I remember all that focus about this. Well, now we're going to do this. And you're like, oh man, that's just the nature of what our business is. And some of that's out of our control as well. But, from an SEO standpoint, I know that you guys, I know SEO is always the thing where, like you said, it's always going on in the background, but because it's something that's not, understood at a deep level, there's always that skepticism of, well, what am I really paying for? Like, is it happening? So is a challenge you guys face, like educating dealers, letting partners know, here's what's going on with their SEO. Here's what's happening. Here's what we're doing. Here's how this is being improved and worked on, because it is a difficult, some of it is not so visual, like you said, like a homepage banner is, that's got to be a challenge for you guys, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the pieces of communication we send to our partners is like a pretty in-depth review email where we kind of, our client success team kind of breaks it down and tries to put in layman terms, like what we're doing. Cause if we're like, well, we took your meta description and it was so many characters, we eliminated, it's like, hey, like we fixed this piece that's going to help Google understand what this page is better. And that's good because the more Google understands and sees the relevance of your page, the more likely it's going to serve it up in the results. And the more likely it's going to get higher in the results. And that's what we want. We want you in those top spots. So one of those things is that monthly communication. And of course there's more than that, but that's one of the means by which we do that. Then we also that's kind of the purpose why we launched the KPI Cafe. And then I did a secondary series, which we don't do as often now, called Dealer U, in which we, I have Dealer U's where I only reunion people on, our paid search director, SEO director, so on and so forth. And we go into topics based on questions that they're getting from our partners. So when we see a common theme, when 3 or 4, 10 partners are saying, hey, what's up with this? We go, well, clearly if these 10 are asking, there's probably another 70 that aren't. So then we kind of do this Dealer U. So it's not always like, we're not like trying to send them like novels to read all the time. Yeah. So then we change up. We have that Dealer U as like sort of like more fun video component of sort of that communication to help kind of demystify, what we're doing with SEO. So, and then there's just, the regular weekly calls and other things where we're just continually updating our partners, doing the best we can to equip them with the understanding of what it is and why we're doing it, not just that we did it.
Well, I think the homepage data is there. Folks should check it out in Dealer Marketing Magazine at dealermarketing.com. Read the study, look at the information and the facts that Dane and his reunion marketing team provided in there. And let's all be on a mission to eliminate as many homepage banners as possible. That's what I would say. Let's talk about Reunion. I got a question. Why does Reunion have 6 founders? Normally, companies are founded by 2 people. Why do you have 6?
That's a great question. So the 6 of us actually all work together at a 33-store group in North Carolina in the marketing department. So I've never sold a car, and I will never try to tell a dealer how to sell a car. I can tell you how to market one, but I'll never tell you how to sell it. But then a couple of us, like myself, left for other pursuits. I went to an agency that worked outside of automotive, kind of honed my chops there with creative direction and stuff like that. And then we all came back together. So why there's 6 of us is we all had different strengths. Dave, our CEO, was, had the really big vision. Chad was really good with sales, so he's our VP of sales. Matt was really good with strategy, so he's our VP of the client success team. VP of, I think the title is VP of marketing, even though he's not like marketing on behalf of a reunion. I was the writer, so originally the SEO department was like a content department, focusing more on copywriting and stuff like that. And then Ryan was sort of like he came from Ernst & Young, so he was the only one that didn't work in that dealership group. So he was our finance guy. Yeah. And then Andrew was really good with client facing. So he was like the first person we brought on board to work with the dealers that decided to partner with us. So we all had a different strength, and we all were friends. So that's long story short, we were friends, we were buddies, and we decided to work together.
Works out pretty good, right? Works out pretty good.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about Dealer Marketing Magazine. You're an expert panel member. They've got a new website, dealermarketing.com. What kind of stuff can listeners expect to read from you on the Dealer Marketing website?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always going to intend to try to bring something that's been sort of analyzed or evaluated, some sort of data points from Reunion, because I like the homepage banners, things like that. The local ads was the first piece that I wrote for Dealer Marketing Magazine, and that was based on some of the data points were some of the cost efficiencies we were seeing with that particular strategy. So I'm always going to come at it with the lens of here's what we're seeing at Reunion, and here's the hows and the whys and the whats, and trying to give as much information as possible to show people the value of these different things. So always trying to help dealers do better and ask better questions of their partners, whoever they work with, to help elevate everyone's work.
Folks can check out Dane's work by going to dealermarketing.com. Dealer Marketing Magazine is at dealermarketing.com. If you go to the expert panel, or our experts at the top, you will see Dane, and then they list all the pieces that he writes there. And then as they come out, they rotate through the homepage and they're promoted. If you follow Dealer Marketing Magazine on LinkedIn, and if you go to the podcast page, look at that. Mostly Automotive Marketing with Matt Wilson right there. You can check out
that guy.
You can check out all the episodes on there. You can also check out Colin Carasquillo's podcast. Expert Marketing is on there. The Inside Auto podcast. I love those guys. They're on there as well. And we all talk to all the expert panel members at Dealer Marketing Magazine. So there you go. All right, Dane. Well, listen, we've talked more in the last 3 weeks than we've talked at all prior to that. So let's take a little bit of a summer break from each other.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, thanks for having me on. We had a great time on Colin's podcast. I appreciate you coming on this one. And I think we've covered, I wanted to talk about homepage banners finally with somebody that had a little bit of data. So I'm glad that you guys took the time to do the study, and I invite people to check it out at dealermarketing.com. I appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you. Yeah, definitely.
All right, Dane, have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your crunch week. What do you guys call it, by the way? We call it crunch. What do you do they call it, a reunion? Is there a name for crunch week?
I call it a shit week, but I don't know. I don't know if there's an official reunion phrase for it, but yeah.
We called it Crazy Days back at the group. DAZE, Crazy Days. And my graphic designer, who worked in the office next to my office, would always be like, Matt, give me some Starbucks. She'd be going nuts back in the day. So anyway, all right. Thanks, Dane. Have a good one.
All right. You too, man.
There you go. Dane Saville joining us here on Mostly Automotive Marketing with Matt Wilson, season 5 in full swing. Oh, man, I got lots of episodes coming up. Lots of episodes recorded. Excited to share them all with you. But that's it for today. Thanks for checking it out. And don't forget to check out Dane's article on Dealer Marketing Magazine at dealermarketing.com. Mostly Automotive Marketing with Matt Wilson, presented by Silverback Advertising. Online at silverbackadvertising.com.
Mostly Automotive Marketing with Matt Wilson is brought to you by... Wait, this guy has sponsors? Oh, never mind. This sheet of paper's blank. No sponsors. That makes more sense. For updates, info, future episodes, and more, follow on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, like on Facebook, and connect on Frackle. You guys made that last one up. That's not even a thing, Frackle. Come on.